It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition.
Welcome back to the Evan edition. It is not 6 p.m., but I could not wait for you guys, so I had to jump on here an hour earlier than initially planned, but it's because we got so much fun stuff to talk about. It's Spider-Man weekend, pretty much. It was Spider-Man Day a couple days ago, and we have so many Spider-Man tidbits that I cannot wait to get into. I couldn't wait. I had to be on with you guys. So we're going to do it. We got Spider-Man to talk about. We're going to go through Netflix's August releases. Some fun stuff is coming out. I want to put you guys on. And we're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars. We haven't talked enough Star Wars recently. So we're going to talk a little bit about Christian Haydenson on Ahsoka Season 2. Apparently, he's getting more screen time. So I want to dive into that. And then I got a fun trailer watch we're going to do. I watched the trailer just once briefly, but I'm like, I got to watch it with you guys because this thing looks really good. A teaser, Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen are in it. It looks awesome. So welcome to the show, guys. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. And with another weekend down, that means more geeky things to talk about. So thank you so much for being here. And before we get into it, we usually try and start the show with what have we been watching. So I wanted to put you guys on, if you have not been watching, to Twisted Metal Season 2. Twisted Metal starring Anthony Mackie and I always blank on her name. Starring Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatrice is phenomenal. It's one of those shows that it's so easy to watch. You don't expect much, but then when you're watching it, you just have a hella good time. You're smiling and laughing the whole time. And it's just a great ride. The way that they tell the show and the way that they tell the story, it's the writers from Deadpool. So if that gives you a little bit of, incentive, but that can give you an idea of like the flow and the comedy. It's just a great, fun show to watch. So the first 3 episodes for season 2 have dropped on Peacock. I highly recommend it. It is a really good time. So definitely check out Twisted Metal Season 2. All right, guys. Now I want to get into it. So we're going to get into Spider-Man, but I first want to talk about this. So as you guys know, Fantastic Four came out last weekend. Fantastic Four First Steps. And it was a huge opening. I think just for domestic, just $1 million under what Superman made in its domestic box office opening. So we were wondering, the big tell is how this bad boy is going to do in its second weekend. Well, apparently we got some numbers and it's not doing as well as initially expected. This comes to us from IGN. They say the Fantastic Four First Steps has been making money in nearly 370 million globally after a big box office drop during its second weekend of release. After launching in North America theaters to a strong 118 million during its first weekend, First Steps brought in another 40 million domestically this weekend. However, this marks a significant drop of 66%. Domestically, First Steps is now at 198 million and some change. And internationally, it's hit 170.3 million. That makes for a current global tally of $368.7 million. According to Variety, analysts had expected a weekend 2 box office drop of 55 to 60%. Due to positive word of mouth and a lack of competing movies coming out, Superman, by the way of comparison, suffered a weekend decline of only 53%. First Steps is an important release for Marvel Studios as it kicks off Phase 6 of the MCU and comes after 2 box office disappointments in Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts. It's worth noting that First Steps is on course to beat both films' final box office tallies, 415.1 million and 382.3 million respectively. And it will comfortably secure its place as the highest grossing Fantastic Four movie ever. The question for Marvel Studios and parent company Disney will be whether First Steps ends up being enough business during its theatrical run to not only prove profitable, but to reignite the MCU as it heads towards its 2026 crucial Avengers Doomsday. And then it goes into Rob Liefeld, the creator of Marvel Comics Deadpool, who retired last year and has insisted he will no longer work with Marvel due to a series of perceived slights at the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine. He took to social media last week to offer his thoughts on why his 5 p.m. Tuesday IMAX screening of Fantastic Four was next to empty. Mine was not empty, so that is interesting. He said, I can tell you why there's very repeat biz on this film. It's impossibly dull and boring. This is what Rob Liefeld said, so don't agree with that. However, there are some people that have shared the same sentiments, but overall, from what I've heard, it's been positive word of mouth. However, it seems like this will be the first time that a DC movie has beat a MCU movie in a very long time, if ever. So it is kind of incredible to watch this race between Superman and Fantastic Four and see who's going to come out on top and how much this will really say about the future of the DCU and of the MCU. So it's quite interesting that these have both come out at various times, extremely close to each other. And now there's like this foot race of like, who's going to win the box office in their final run? Is it going to be Fantastic Four or Superman? So let me know what you guys think. Did you guys watch Superman or Fantastic Four? Did you like them? Did you like one better than the other? Drop your comments below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, I just wanted to touch on that because it was just interesting about the second weekend and whatnot. So with that down, I wanted to get into this. So as you guys know, as previously stated, Netflix, every time it releases new movies, we always want to know what is going to be on Netflix, because for the longest time, Netflix has always been like, there's so much stuff on here. I can't really find, even if there's something that's on there, I don't know. And so I can't find it because I'm overwhelmed with all these titles. And then I just choose something because I saw it and I'm like, dang, this was on it. Once I see this is about to leave, so I wanted to go over what Netflix stuff is coming out the month of August and things that you can be excited about for this month. So let's get into it. THR, the Hollywood Reporter, put together a really fun list of Netflix's new releases coming in August 2025. Let's take a look. They say, an Oxford set college rom-com from the guy behind The In-Betweeners, the return of Netflix's biggest ever shows, Jendy Tartakovsky, latest adult animated project, Vanessa Kirby's return to more intimate dramas about the human condition, and a documentary that promises to shed new light on the Jussie Smollett hate crime incident. There's also a murder mystery film featuring several British and Irish acting icons, which are just some of the highlights of the new films and series hitting Netflix in August. Of Netflix's biggest launches this month, I want to highlight that the season 2 of the monster hit Wednesday will premiere its part 1 on August 6th. Wednesday season 1 is amongst Netflix's most watched shows ever, and the streamers already confirmed a 3rd season and plans for spin-offs. The sophomore outing for the show sees Jenna Ortega's kooky Wednesday Addams return for another at the dark, mysterious, and very gothic Nevermore Academy. The creative team that made season 1 of Wednesday such a huge hit are all back, including creators and showrunners Alfred Go and Miles Miller, and of course, EP and director Tim Burton, who gave the show its unmistakable look and feel. New cast additions include Steve Buscemi, Joanna Lumley, Billy Piper, and returning cast members include Emma Myers, Fred Armisen, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Luis Guzman, and Isaac Ardenos. Probably pronounced that terribly. And so I just want to go over a few of the notable movies that have been added to Netflix in August. These movies include American Pie, American Pie 2, Anaconda, Clueless, Dazed and Confused, The Departed, Despicable Me 2, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Groundhog Day, Journey to the Mysterious Island, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Jurassic Park, The Lost World Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, Megamind, Minions, Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3, 13, Weird Science, Wet Hot American Summer, Wyatt Earp, The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Fast 7, and Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. So you can go on a little Fast and Furious binge journey, if you will. So these are some of the noticeable ones. There's a ton more titles, but I just wanted to put you on to the exciting ones coming out. And I know we're always curious, like what's coming out, how much stuff is coming out. It's so much stuff. I'm going to miss some stuff. So just want to put a few of this stuff on your radar. All right, guys. I want to get into this. So this is our main topic because, man, it was just Spider-Man Day. And I find it very ironic. We've been talking about Superman Fantastic Four for so long. How good are they going to be? Are they going to save the MCU and DCU? Are they going to be big box office bangers? Are they going to be a good movie? We've been so caught up in a conversation about these two movies that we forgot the most iconic superhero of them all, arguably. And all it took was a 20-second teaser for Tom Holland to say, I am back. Spider-Man is here. We are filming. We started on Spider-Man Day, and don't forget. And they really showed us because it has now been the most talked about thing online in the past 48 hours. And we're going to get into it. So first, I do like this. I put a look on my face. No, I'm just kidding. First, I'm going to get into the Tom Holland of it all. But before I do, let's pay respect for the Spider-Man that came before. Okay? As you guys know, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are some of the most beloved people to play a superhero character, namely Spider-Man. Me, being born in the late 80s, growing up in the 90s and 2000s as a young kid, Spider-Man was a very big deal to me. I was a huge animated Spider-Man fan. I was a huge comic book collector when it came to Spider-Man. And when Spider-Man came out, the movie with Tobey Maguire, it took the world by storm. It really showed people that this can be comic booky and still just heartfelt, entertaining, and fun as all heck. And I remember exactly where I was when I was sitting in the movie theater in my hometown. I saw the movie twice in theaters, let alone Spider-Man 2 and 3, but it was a phenomenon. And then years went by, they rebooted it, and Andrew Garfield was the Spider-Man. And, Andrew Garfield just got famous at the time from The Social Network. It was like, okay, this guy has acting chops. He's 27 or 28, like pretty old, but let's give it a look. And the first movie, fantastic. And he was a great Spider-Man. And the second one, not as good. aged better for some people. I think some people really like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But unfortunately, they did him dirty, and he did not get his third Spider-Man movie. Well, for the past 10 years, Tom Holland has starred in 3 Spider-Man movies and 2 Avengers films and a Captain America Civil War movie. He has been our Spider-Man for the past 10 years, and he started as a teenager. Who would have thought? An actor being a teenager, playing a teenager. So, how did he fare? Well, after I've gone on to my rant about my love for Tobey Maguire, my love for Andrew Garfield, I'm starting to think that Tom Holland might be the best representation of Spider-Man from comic book to screen. And I say this because I know there's going to be a lot of people that disagree because their Spider-Man hits them differently. And that's totally okay. And I love that. And I feel that. And I understand why you feel that way. However, the representation that we've seen of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, you know, sans the Tony Stark of it all and the suits that he's been given, all that stuff, the feeling of Spider-Man, the teenager who messes up in high school, who's falling in love with different people, who can't seem to find his way, who lost Uncle Ben, it's all there. And it's so good. And Tom Holland has done such a great job. And now Tom Holland will be the only Spider-Man to have starred in 4 Spider-Man movies. And Spider-Man Brand New Day has just started filming. And we are now privy to the Spider-Man suit. And so I want to talk a little bit about Tom Holland as Spider-Man, the suit, and then what exactly is Brand New Day going to be about in the sense of how does the Punisher fit in? How does the Hulk fit in? How does the Scorpion fit in? Who we heard Michael Mandow is casted back into the fold. So first, I just want to talk about Tom Holland in general. Tom Holland embodies Spider-Man in so many ways. If you've ever seen interviews with Tom Holland or Tom Holland in person, he's extremely outgoing, extremely kind, so good to his fans. He is the Spider-Man's Spider-Man. He represents Spider-Man in such a great way. He's heartfelt. He cares about the duty of making the fans proud. He takes pictures with the audience. I'm going to share a video with you guys of Tom Holland just on the set in Glasgow filming right now and just how he interacts with his fans in Glasgow. Let's take a look. Screaming for a selfie, goes and taps up the guy, takes another picture. This is in full Spider-Man regalia, hot as all heck, doesn't care at all. He will take the time to say hi. He politely said, I can't take any pens because it might get on my gloves, shaking the kids' hands, taking pictures with the children. This is the representation of Spider-Man. This is what makes people so happy. Just the representation that a good person is playing a superhero that so many people care about. And that is the best representation of Spider-Man. And I'm not saying that Tobey Maguire didn't do that or Andrew Garfield didn't do that. Of course they did. But when you've played Spider-Man for so long, it can get tiring. It really can. Playing the same character, the fandom, the toxic fandom, it could be a lot. But after 10 years, the fact that Tom Holland is still interacting with fans in this way, in the full suit, which looks beautiful as all heck, taking pictures with children, having them come, behind the caution tape and and saying, yeah, come in here, take a picture with me, and dapping people up and shaking their hands. That is Spider-Man through and through. And Tom Holland represents that perfectly. And so to see him doing this after 10 years, it's such a fresh breath of air. And I love seeing this representation. And it just makes me so happy that we're going to be with Tom Holland again for maybe the next 10 years. He might be playing this role for at least 20 years, which is up there with like Hugh Jackman playing uh Wolverine, with Patrick Stewart playing Professor X. This has solidified him as the de facto Spider-Man for so many people, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy that embodies who Spider-Man is and what he represents. So it's just really beautiful to see. So had to mention that. Of course, give it up for these three Spider-Man in general. I love them. All brought their own, type of Spider-Man to the screen and have all been great in my opinion. So share your thoughts. I know you guys may have had different thoughts, maybe different opinions, but that is the best part about it, because every Spider-Man is for a different generation that hits someone else differently than it does me or it does someone else. But the fact that we all have our Spider-Man and we can all compare and contrast and find different ways that we love these different Spider-Men in different ways, that is the best part about these three actors all playing Spider-Man the past 20 plus years. And so that's the best part about having a conversation about Spider-Man. And what better way to do it than on the day in the weekend that the fourth Spider-Man for Tom Holland has started filming. So I think it's fantastic. On top of that, we have heard the Punisher is back. Let's go! And there are so many iconic moments between the Punisher and Spider-Man. And there's so many moments in the comics between Punisher, Spider-Man, and Hulk. And so we're wondering, how is this all going to fit in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Well, it seems like comicbookmovie.com has some thoughts. They say, though not confirmed, the main plot of Spider-Man Brand New Day is expected to focus on Peter Parker teaming up with Frank Castle to put a stop to a rampaging Savage Hulk. But that doesn't mean Spidey won't get on the wrong side of the volatile vigilante, the Punisher, beforehand. Daniel Rickman has shared some new details about the chase scene that was being filmed / rehearsed earlier today in Glasgow, Scotland. And it seems the villainous Scorpion, Michael Mando, might be key to some early tension between the Wallcrawler and the Punisher. According to the Scooper, let me see, do I have any pictures? No. Whoops, I took a picture, but I did not have it. Oh, well. Okay. According to the Scooper, Daniel Rickman, the tank we saw in the set photos actually belongs to Castle. We assume he commandeered it from the Inner Demons, who is trying to run a vehicle carrying Mac Gargan off the road so he can dispense his own brand of lethal justice. Spider-Man gets wind of Castle's plan and attempts to stop him, killing the villain. Why Frank is determined to put Scorpion down for good is not clear, but it doesn't exactly take much to send the Punisher on a rampage. Filming is expected to officially get underway tomorrow, so we might just catch a glimpse of some cast members, and you can see Tom Holland's stunt double in action. Spider-Man Brand New Day will also star Sadie Sink and Liza Colon-Zayas in undisclosed roles. Zendaya and Jacob Batalon will reprise their respective roles as MJ and Ned Leeds. Unlike the previous films, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home, Brand New Day is the name of a specific arc from the comics and focuses on Peter Parker attempting to rebuild his life following the events of the status quo altering One More Day in Civil War. Brand New Day features a number of new characters such as Carly Cooper and Lily Hollister, aka the supervillain Menace, which has led to speculation that Sadie Sink may have been cast in one of these roles. Destin Daniel Cretton, the director, says at CinemaCon, I'm spending my time exploring the next stage of this amazing character with a team of the most incredible artists in the world. He says, we're all just daily nerding out over the suit, how to swing, how to create an event, an emotional story, and a ride that we haven't really seen before. Holland did not appear in Las Vegas for the Sony presentation, but he did send the following video message. He stated, I'm so sorry I can't be with you. I am halfway around the world shooting a movie. I know we left you with a massive cliffhanger at the end of No Way Home. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is a fresh start. It is exactly that. That's all I can say. Spider-Man 4 has been recently pushed back a week and will now be coming out on July 31st, 2026. So we are less than a year away, my friends. And that gives us a little taste of what we could expect, but at least we're going to have some expectations that we're going to get some awesome fight scenes between the Punisher, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Scorpion, possibly Mr. Negative, but this is going to be a fun movie. And if you guys can see, this is the evolution of Tom Holland's Spider-Man costumes. As you can see, it's gotten a little bit more comic book accurate every step of the way. Now we are at the point where we are getting our most comic accurate Tom Holland Spider-Man suit that we have seen. As you can see from the set photos, we got the classic blue and red coloring. We have the Rays 3D webbing that is reminiscent of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And also we get the color scheme and the pattern from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. So not only are we getting the homages in respect to the comic books, but we're also seeing that Tom Holland's Spider-Man had this affection for these two other Spider-Men that he met in No Way Home and wanted to honor him in some way. And now that he's hand making his own suits, we can definitely see that. We can also see the details of the web shooters are a little bit more homemade, but they're a little bit more well polished. They're silver and they look a little bit more sleek and a little bit more less clunky than his homemade ones from the first movie, Homecoming. So we're seeing that this evolution has really taken place in the Tom Holland Spider-Man world, and we're finally getting the suit that we all know and love from the Spider-Man comics. And I, for one, am so excited to finally get this accuracy, but finally see Tom Holland Spider-Man use his hands, use his sewing skills, but use his mentals to understand what kind of suit do I need for the Spider-Man I'm going to be today? And it looks like this is what we're getting. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in a fourth movie? Does this on-set photos and this costume design make you excited and make you say, why is it a year away? And do you, like me, think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is maybe too legit to quit? My Spider-Man dance. Hopefully this is picking up or the dance is going to look really dumb. All right. Don't copyright that song. We're going to get in trouble. Okay, guys. So that is a lot of the Spider-Man talk. I am so excited. this is just the tip of the iceberg. It was just a 20-second tease with Tom Holland say, let's go. And then some on-set photos, and it already has people so hyped. Like, the movie's coming out next month. We have almost a year away. So we're going to get so many more details. We've already seen the Punisher filming his special. I guarantee that's just going to kind of transfer over, and he's going to go onto set and film some of Spider-Man and be back and forth in some kind of way. But the excitement is at an all-time high, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what else they have in store, because we are getting a very different Spider-Man than we got in the last 3 films. So drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think and be a part of the conversation. Everyone has their own feelings of Spider-Man. Everyone has their own feelings of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So I know it hits everyone a little differently, but have a productive conversation about it. Have a respectful conversation about it, and comment in the comments below, and let's talk Spider-Man, baby. All right, guys. With that out of the way, I wanted to get into a little bit of this. We haven't talked about our boy Christian Haydenson in a long time. As you guys know, he was the Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, but he was only in 2 of those films. And of course, Clone Wars might not be for everyone. And now Revenge of the Sith, just celebrating its 20th year, has found a special place in people's hearts and finally have started to give Hayden Christensen the respect that he deserves for the role in the script that he was given. He did a really great job. And we've seen him come back in some kind of capacity. We saw him come back in the Obi-Wan season 1 series, and we also saw him in Ahsoka season 1. And so they're filming Ahsoka season 2 right now, and apparently we are getting some tidbits as to how much Hayden Christensen is going to be in Ahsoka season 2. And this comes to us from the SFF Gazette. They say, after rumors he'd appear in Star Wars trilogy failed to pan out, Hayden Christensen made his long-awaited return to the franchise as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The actor, who has become a beloved figure among Star Wars fans, later reprised his role in Ahsoka as a Force ghost and a hologram, while the finale setting the stage for Anakin to play a much bigger role on Peridea when the series returns with season 2. Work is currently underway on Ahsoka's second batch of episodes, and a couple of canceled convention appearances have left fans convinced that Christensen may have a much more prominent role when the show returns on Disney Plus next year. It started when SpaceCon San Antonio took to social media to write, "We had attempted to have Hayden Christensen return to appear with the Emperor Ian McDiarmid, but Hayden is still filming the next season of Ahsoka and is unable to commit." Later, Comic-Con Manchester said that the actor had to cancel his appearance for them this July because of nighttime film shoots. As the finale suggested, we'd bet on Anakin guiding Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren on their journey across Peridea as a Force ghost. We may also see more of those training videos he once made for Snips. Christensen said earlier this year, "I know my friend Ewan would be game for all that when it comes to more of him and Obi-Wan. It's a cool look. It's a cool sort of period in Star Wars," referring to the Clone Wars. He said, "I think there are great stories that we could tell there. So who knows? Maybe one day." So it appears that maybe he's teasing that we could get a live action Clone Wars series, bring him back, bring Ewan back as Obi-Wan, and maybe have a younger actress play Ahsoka and get some kind of mini series that takes place during the Clone Wars, which I for one would love that. I think the Clone Wars is highly underrated. and there's so much you could do that would transfer into live action. If you made it a contained story, you can make a really great live action Clone Wars miniseries and bring all these actors back. So I think that'd be a great idea. He went on to say George Lucas made some very bold choices, and I love that he did that, reflecting on his role in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. However, he did it in a way that we could still digest everything. For example, Anakin is killing younglings, but we don't exactly see it. But yeah, I like it when Star Wars goes dark. That works for me. Only time will tell how much Christensen's Anakin or Vader will see in Ahsoka Season 2, but an expanded role for the actor appears likely if he's having to pull out of conventions like this. Those are hugely profitable for the actor, so we're sure he wouldn't skip unless there was no other reason to or other choice to. So that's a little tidbit of Hayden Christensen coming back in Ahsoka Season 2, potentially for a more prominent role. What do you guys think? Are you a fan of Hayden Christensen as Anakin and as Darth Vader? Do you think we haven't seen enough of him and he should get more of his due? Would you be excited for a live action Clone Wars miniseries or series in general and bring back a lot of these great actors? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. All right, guys. We are almost done, but I wanted to share a trailer with you, and I teased it at the end. This bad boy comes to us from A24, one of the most dominant and prominent and ominous and dominant and dominant. I'm just going to keep rhyming. One of the biggest studios in the game today. And I saw a trailer last week about a couple that are reunited in the afterlife. However, this person had a previous husband who also died. So she is ignited with not her first husband, but also her second husband, and has to choose which one am I going to spend the afterlife with. I thought that was a very interesting premise. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Guess you weren't expecting it.
What the hell is going on?
We have now reached the junction.
Well, I guess the surgery didn't go so well.
You've passed away, Larry.
Who are you?
I'm Anna. I'm your afterlife coordinator.
That's not a job.
And this is the junction.
Looks good.
Where you choose one place to spend eternity.
You want a little sniffle?
And who to spend it with.
John!
I was in bed and then I...
You look amazing. That's shocking news. You're
I'm
dead. Yeah, how'd you know?
It took him forever to figure that out.
Excuse me. I've been waiting for this golden goose for 67 goddamn years. It's a lot to absorb, so I highly recommend just taking a deep breath in and out. Just breathe.
Uh-oh.
I never dreamt you this clearly.
You're exactly how I dreamt you. Oh, no.
How's this guy? First husband died in the war.
First husband died in the war.
I know this is a lot, but don't worry. I've been doing the research.
Larry!
What do you mean, Larry? We were together a week ago.
Well, a lot has happened in a week. You died, I died. I just been reunited with both of my dead husbands, and I have to pick where to spend eternity.
What a concept.
You waited 67 years.
When eternity's on the line, seems like nothing.
It's a good opener.
You're a lurker, pal. You're waiting beyond to spoil a half a century of marriage.
It's not a competition.
So they're married for like
Sweetheart is 100% for sure.
25 years after her husband died in the war.
I wanted you to have a life, but I wanted us to have a chance to have one too.
That is so romantic.
I can be romantic. I don't care where we end up. Just as long as we're together.
You're going to
Why
have
is
to
this
remind
giving
her
me
of why she
chills,
fell
you
in love
guys?
with
Knowing you're happy makes me happy.
Eternity is a long time to have regrets.
So, have you chosen your eternity?
Wow. Great cast too. November, not too far. That looks really good, you guys. So I wanted to put it on your radar and watch it with you guys. I just think what a great concept. You know what I mean? Like, and then I showed my wife and she was like, I've thought of that before. Like, what if someone remarries and then you're reunited in them in the afterlife and you're like, who do I choose? So, and then you got great actors like Elizabeth Olsen, Taylor, Miles Teller, Caleb Turner. What a great cast. Divine Joy Randolph, Oscar winner. John Early, Tony Award nominee Olga Merediz, from In the Heights and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This was directed by David Freen, who I'm not too familiar with, and it's based on a screenplay by Pat Cunane, which gained industry attention after being named one of the best unproduced scripts on the 2022 Blacklist. So I wanted to put on your radar, you guys. It looks like a really fun movie, and it's such an interesting concept. Reminds me of like something that I would have seen like in the 90s. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for Eternity? Does this pique your interest, or at least now you're happy it's on your radar, or it's not really your thing? Let me know in the comments below. And that will do it for today. Let me know all your comments below. You guys, I'm almost at 100 subscribers, and I know that might not seem like a lot. There's thousands and millions and all that stuff, but I started this less than a year ago with my partner Chris. Took it on myself the past few months, rebranded it, went through some stuff, lost some followers, gained about 30 followers since I rebranded it. This really means a lot to me. And the best part about it is when you guys are on the journey with me, when you're seeing the growth, when you're seeing the new intro video, the new logo, when you're here for the conversation, when you give me your thoughts on Spider-Man, on Fantastic Four, on how these movies make you feel, even if we don't agree. That's the best part about this community. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys for being here on the journey, for continuing to like and subscribe, for commenting, for being a part of the community, because I love doing this. It gets me so excited. Like, can you tell? I'm crazy. I'm crazy for movies and TV, and I'm crazy for you guys because we get to have these great convos, and I get to have great creators on like Zach and other people like Rocky, who I'm trying to get on, who's a great artist. So there's so much more we got to do, and I cannot wait to do it. And I'm going to sound like Jeff Goldblum, and I can't do his accent because I'm an idiot, but I am so excited to be here with you guys. So like, subscribe, comment, be here for the journey. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. I deleted the X. It's toxic and I don't like it, but I'm on Threads at the Evan Edition. Comment, be a part of the community. All right, guys, that's the end. All I can say is have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great start to your week. Watch movies, watch shows, and let's have a conversation about it. All right, bye, you guys.
It's the Evan Edition. The Evan Edition. The Evan Edition. The Evan Edition. It's the Evan Edition. The Evan Edition. The Evan Edition. The Evan Edition. It's the Evan Edition.